His name is Elliot Brody. The Justice Department, I should say, says that he tried to get the Trump administration to drop an investigation into a multi-billion-dollar looting of a Malaysian state investment fund. He resigned in 2018 in his role as deputy chairman of the RNC after it was revealed that he paid $1.6 million to a Playboy playmate with whom he was having an affair. Now, some Democrats, including 2020 presidential candidate Eric Swalwell, celebrated the charge. He tweeted this: "Drain the swamp." But a lot of Republicans not so happy about this, obviously. And joining us to talk more about this, former campaign advisor to the Trump campaign and Newsmax contributor George Papadopoulos, author of Deep State Target: How I Got Caught in the Crosshairs of the Plot to Bring Down President Trump. George, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me, John.
All right, so you look at this case, you can look at the facts of the case and say, yeah, maybe this guy should have been prosecuted here. On the other hand, you look at what's going on now with Crossfire Hurricane, the new documents that have been released, and a lot of people are saying, you know, this is a political prosecution tied to the president, the fundraising, so they can clearly charge this guy. Why can't they move forward with other charges related to Crossfire Hurricane?
Yeah, and look, Lady Justice in this country is often depicted as wearing a blindfold or being blind. And what that blindfold is actually supposed to represent is a fair and impartial rule of law and justice system that actually disregards people in terms of wealth or party affiliation. But as you just mentioned, this Elliot Brody, while he doesn't work for the president, and I'm not even sure he worked for the RNC anymore by the time he was indicted.
Yeah, it's been 2 years since he's been let, he's been gone for a long time.
But however, this investigation has been ongoing into him, and they just decided to now indict him about 25 days to go before an election. Obviously, it caught and it raised eyebrows around the United States. It was headlines, and it just really feeds the perception of this narrative that the media is trying to create, that the president is surrounding himself with various unsavory players, which could actually affect people's perception of President Trump so close to the election. And as you mentioned, with the Crossfire Hurricane investigations, we have overwhelming evidence, including an entire IG report that was designed to highlight the corruption at the highest levels of the DOJ, Comey, McCabe. They were referred for prosecution, and they were never prosecuted. And now, unfortunately, we even have reports that Durham might actually punt and not release his report even before the election. So what I highly recommend happens here, because the president has decided to declassify everything, is to have the top level of the DOJ release all declassified documents, make them public for the American people to see exactly what happened, and for them to then decide if Joe Biden and the previous administration was as I guess, angelic as they try to make themselves seem on television.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they say, right, George? Sunlight is the best disinfectant?
Absolutely. Look, this is an issue of not only national security, but it should actually be all over the world because, like I said, the election is 25 days to go, and the American people have only received half a story, or probably a false story, meaning the Russia hoax. We really need to understand what truly happened, what transpired here. The president has decided to declassify everything. It's very unclear why people like the director of the CIA, Gina Haspel, has decided to block these documents from being released to the public. But this is arguably the #1 issue that's impacting the Republican base today. I'm here in Florida right now, about to go speak at a very big conservative conference, and everybody here, they're not talking about the economy, they're not talking about coronavirus, they're talking about the deep state, corruption, accountability, and holding people accountable for what happened in 2016 before we even get to 2020, the election in 2020. So I really hope that no matter what happens here, that we do, as Americans, see exactly what happened. Whether or not there are indictments or prosecutions, that's a second issue. I understand that Durham...
And that's an important point, and I want to end on that right there, George, because we're out of time. We need to know what actually happened so it doesn't happen again, and we can prevent things like the accusations that have been leveled from happening again. We need to have confidence in our system, in our FBI, and our Justice Department. George, we got to run. Good luck at the conference this weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, John. Have a good weekend.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.